Hi everybody, Callie here from Soulcraft Sisters, and this is a new moon video at the end of April 2017. I'll be pulling a card for us later on, or I've actually already pulled it because I just made this video in Danish. But before that, before we look at that, before we discuss that, I want to discuss this new moon in Taurus, because this new moon is in the sign of Taurus. So what does that mean? And the whole idea here is to share with you some things I do that inspires me to write down some intentions for this coming month. And that's exactly what the new moon represents to me, this sort of blank sheet of paper. What do you want to uh, um, design? What do you want to manifest? What do you want your conscious attention to flow? Where do you want it to flow? And I think this is such an important thing to do. You can do it on the new, actually you can do this anytime you want, but for me, and to make sure that it happens, and I usually use the new moon to do this kind of work, to reflect on what is it that I want to manifest, right? So what does this new moon in Taurus mean? So what we can do here is it's take inspiration from the Taurian energy, you can say. So, and what is that? So for those of you who are not familiar with astrology as such, I can tell you. And also, I want to say that these prompts, this inspiration comes very much from this book here, Yasmin Boland. I've referred to her before, and I will refer to her again because I really like the way she has some concrete suggestions on how to work with the new moon in all the different signs. So I want to share that with you here, and then pick and choose what works for you, and leave the rest, right? So the first thing to do, that's really in the sign of Taurus, the spirit of Taurus, is this idea of tuning into the material world, your body, your possessions, your money, your property, that kind of thing. So everything or anything in the material world is very Taurian, and also your senses, the beauty and the fullness of the material, the manifest, so to speak. And so one thing you can do and set some intentions around is making a financial plan, a budget, going through your loans perhaps, or anything of that sort. Really feel like you have a solid foundation or a plan that you want to work towards. Maybe you want to start a new savings account or whatever that might mean to you. But so that's one thing you can set some intentions around that would be supported during this time. Another thing is to think of the 5 things in your life that matters the most to you, that's super important to you. And then once you've considered that, okay, then have a look at your life. Does my life support these things that I love so much? Do I have enough time, money, space, whatever it might be? Is my life designed so that I can enjoy these 5 things the most? And if not, how can I take steps towards that? And that's where the intention work starts. Another thing you can be conscious of is about your senses, how you treat your body and your senses. So the food you take, the food you eat. Also, how do you treat your body? Do you give it enough sleep? Do you feed it with food that nurtures your body, that's healthy for your body? What makes you feel good in your body? Exercise routines, it could also be. But also this idea of tasting, smelling, touching your food or the things around you. So really try to be conscious of that. So for example, the sense that I use the least is my my smell sense. Did you say smell sense? So how can I be extra kind to that? How can I be more aware of that? How can I remind myself to smell that apple, to have some oils, and really just take that in, the whole sensory smelling part. Make food that just smells wonderful, that kind of thing. Remind myself to pay attention. The next thing you can ask yourself is to just do a quick character check. So sometimes the Taurus energy or characteristics are associated with things like being stubborn, a little bit stubborn, perhaps lazy or not lazy enough, too like overactive, like 5 marathons a week or whatever. But also being strong, being creative, being nurturing to yourself, your body, and your surroundings. All right, but because often you refer to a Taurus in harmony and balance, it is incredibly strong, is incredibly nurturing, is incredibly creative as well. But out of balance, you have these other things like you have with all signs, with all characteristics, right? You have the backside. So which of these things that I've just mentioned, where do you see that play out, and do you want to consciously be aware of how you can make changes if you need to? So that's another thing. And the last thing is this notion of perseverance, of being dependable, being that person that people can depend on and you can depend on. So is there a specific routine you want to keep? Is it concerning work or your friends? You know, if you say you're going to do something, do it. Be that dependable person that we associate also with the Taurian energy, and see how what comes from that. So if you're like me, used to being a little bit late and don't think too much about it, it's not a big deal to you, but it is to somebody else, then honor that, you know, be dependable. And in terms of perseverance, so if you're doing a project or you're going through something that requires some perseverance from you, maybe ask yourself, how can I perhaps slow things down so that I can reach my goals with a specific thing? So this notion of slowly but surely really applies here. Where can I, how can I apply that? In which area of my life would that really benefit me? Because we want to reach the end goal, right? We don't want to burn out halfway. So where can I slow down things perhaps a little bit and surely make my way to the goals that I want to achieve? So those were 5 things that you can mull over in your head and pick and choose from and set some intentions around. And also, as I often say, the 4 things that really work for me in terms of staying the course and reminding myself of what it is that I set out to achieve at the beginning of the cycle. A great thing to do is to actually write down 1 or 2 wishes that's clear to you that you want to see come true. And it's very important here that you believe yourself that this can actually happen. So write these down, have 1, 2, 3. I wouldn't advise more than that. Personally, I can't juggle all of that and I can lose track of it. So write those down and then visualize. Do a visualization where you see these things coming to pass. You see them materializing, you see it manifesting. And not only see it, but you feel it. What's that feeling that's created in you? Because that's your gem. That's your fuel. That's your magnet. That's what's going to attract this to you. That feeling, that intention, that visualization. It's a super juicy thing to do, and you can probably do this several times over the month, right? Maybe as part of a meditation practice you do in the morning if you have one, or in the evening. And then you can, the third thing is to write down some affirmations that support you in this. And the last thing is to make a concrete plan. So if, for example, you want to review your finances, you want to make a financial plan, okay, by when do you want to have that done, right? Be very concrete and set some dates if that sits well with you, but just be really precise and concrete, and experience the joy of actually checking them off as you go along, right? So those are the 4 things that really work for me, and I advise you to do something similar. Okay, so let's look at the card that I pulled. And I pulled these from Vibrational Energy Oracle Cards by Debbie Anderson. And the illustrator is Heather Brewster. Some really, really beautiful cards, I find. You can also get this on an app. I have it on an app as well. Anyway, the card that came forward to us as advice from our guides from the universe is this one here, and it says the triangle. And you have this energy in the center here, and it looks like gases sort of an energetic center, power here. And you have these triangles that are all interconnected here. And the card, sorry, the message that goes along with this, I want to read it from the book here. So the triangle for me is also about creativity, creating things, birthing new things, by putting two things together. And for me, that's the intention and your actions. And of course, obviously, that's going to birth something new. And that's what the triangle represents for me. But I'll tell you what the book here says. It says, the triangle is the law of three: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The trilogy of each one knowing what it needs to do, what is expected of it, and just doing it. It is that of the highest form of work. The closer you get to God, or the universal force of vibration, the more is expected of you and you of others. A triangle has three sides of itself, just as you do, so recognize it. For me, this is also about the co-creating efforts. So with your intentions and asking the universe to sort of mirror that whole thing that happens in that space. For me, that's where magic happens. And I pay attention to this. It says, the closer you get to God or the universal force of vibration, the more is expected of you and you of others. So I think it's a matter of, I guess most people who are watching this, you understand that you are a powerful, powerful being, and that you are the creator of your reality. And once you know this, there's really no turning a blind eye, right? There's no getting around it. That's it. That's your reality. When you know this, of course, that also requires you to sort of step into that and take that seriously, I guess, in a way. And there's no shame to just sort of drifting every now and then and not be super intentional in everything you do. I don't think, I mean, that can really sort of be tiring, right? But on the grander scale, yes, you are the creator. Yes, you manifest what you think, what you feel, and that's the truth of it. So I think it's about recognizing that, and also I feel like this is a nod to this whole idea of setting intentions and being a deliberate creator in your life. You are so capable. You're doing it right now. So I'm taking this card as a sign of continue to do that and recognize your power and the co-creation process that happens between you and source, spirit, whatever you want to call it. Super beautiful, I find. So anyway, I want to leave you with that and wish you a beautiful month ahead, and see you again soon. Take care. Bye.